The election of the ninth-term President and Vice President of the Republic of China was the first direct presidential election in the history of the Republic of China. It occurred on the 23rd of March 1996. In the previous 8 elections, the President and Vice President had been chosen in a ballot of the deputies of the National Assembly, in accordance with the 1947 Constitution. The outcome of the 1996 election was that Lee Teng-hui was elected as President and Lien Chan as Vice President. Lee stood as the incumbent, and as the candidate of the ruling Kuomintang. He won a majority of 54% of the votes cast. His election followed missile tests by the People's Republic of China. These were an attempt to intimidate the Taiwanese electorate and discourage them from supporting Lee. However, the tactic backfired. Voter turnout was 76.0%. Candidates. The ruling Kuomintang nominated President Lee Teng-hui in August 1995 at its 14th Party Congress after plans to institute a closed primary system by his opponents were thwarted. His running mate, Lee, chose Lien Chan, who promised to resign as Premier of the Republic of China if he were elected Vice President. The opposition Democratic Progressive Party conducted an extensive nomination process. The presidential candidate was selected after 2 rounds of voting and 50 public debates by the 2 finalists. HSUHSIN Liang, Lin Yisheng, Yuqing, and Peng Ming contended for this position. The 72-year-old Peng emerged victorious and nominated legislator Frank Xie to be his running mate. Peng opposed trade with mainland China unless the PRC promised to treat Taiwan as an equal, though he argued that the One China policy would lead to another February 28 incident. He took the position that Taiwan was already de facto independent, so a formal declaration of Taiwan independence was unnecessary unless the PRC attacked. However, Peng rejected reunification with the mainland outright, describing the notion as suicide and self-destruction. Former Taiwan provincial governor Lin Yang-kang ran as an independent with former Premier Hao Pei-tsun as his running mate. After the pair registered as candidates on November 27, 1995, a small protest in Taichung demanded their expulsion from the KMT. On the recommendation of the KMT Disciplinary Committee, the party memberships were cancelled in December for viciously attacking Lee Teng-hui and seriously damaging the party's image and prestige. Quote, "They were endorsed by a new party after its own nominee dropped out. Lin and Hao likewise campaigned on behalf of the new party. They supported the One China principle and favored opening direct links with the mainland. They argued that the KMT was too corrupt to govern. A second independent ticket consisted of former controlled Yuan President Chen Lian for president and controlled Yuan member Wang Qingfeng for vice president. Chen Lian, the son of former premier and vice president Chen Cheng, used his Buddhist background and stressed moral purity and honest government. He walked for 18 days wearing a farmer's straw hat to spread his views. Mudslinging was rampant between all 4 presidential tickets. The KMT claimed that the Taiwanese mafia had amputated Peng's arm to recoup gambling debts. However, Peng had lost his in an American air raid on Nagasaki during World War II. Independent candidate Lin Yang-kang alleged that Lee Teng-hui had been a Chinese Communist Party member, which he denied at the time, but later admitted involvement in a 2002 interview. The Kuomintang's website was also subject to cyber attacks. Chen Lian criticized every other candidate for their advanced age. 1996 Taiwan Strait Crisis. From March 8 to March 15, the Chinese People's Liberation Army sent ballistic missiles within 25 to 35 miles off the ports of Keelung and Kaohsiung. This action was intended to intimidate the Taiwanese electorate into voting against Li and Peng, which Beijing branded absolutely identical in attempting to divide the motherland. Similarly, Chen Lian warned, "If you vote for Lee Teng-hui, you are choosing war." The crisis came to an end when two U.S. aircraft carrier battle groups were positioned near Taiwan. Lee, who told his people to resist state terrorism, was boosted in popularity by the widespread anger caused by the missile tests. Most analysts believed that Lee was boosted 5% in the polls, just enough to have earned him a majority in the election. Many areas of southern Taiwan that voted for Lee due to the large boost in popularity while the crisis occurred would later turn to the pro-independence DPP. Results.